In just a few days, you can catch a seat to the Broadway classic Funny Girl as it premieres on Wharton Center stage. And here to tell us all about the magic that we'll witness is Stephen Mark Lukas, who plays Nicky Arnstein. Welcome into Studio 10.
I'm doing well. Yeah, having a great time.
You guys are in the midst of this national tour, carrying the show from city to city. And this is a 60-year legacy of a show that you're bringing. How does it feel to know that you're in charge of telling the story every night?
So it's really exciting. It's really an opportunity, I think, to for audiences to share these characters. A lot of people know these characters and love these characters from the film version with Barbra Streisand and Omar Sharif, from listening to the songs. This amazing score by Julie Stein that people, even if they don't know the show, they know a lot of the songs, People and Don't Rain on My Parade. And so it really is an exciting opportunity to get out across the country and to share this story with audiences all over again for the first time.
Well, that is true. Audiences may or may not be familiar with the story, but a lot of us are familiar with the music. But with that being said, in your own words, what is Funny Girl all about?
Funny Girl is the story of Fanny Brice, who was a huge star in the early 20th century. So the musical tracks her story from her humble beginnings in Brooklyn all the way through starring in the Ziegfeld Follies on Broadway and her marriage to Nicky Arnstein, who I play in the musical. And it's sort of a bittersweet love story on one hand. On the other hand, it is a great big showbiz extravaganza that shows her rise to stardom.
Well, I love that you call it an extravaganza. So where does your character, Nicky, fit into this Broadway extravaganza?
Yeah. So Nicky Arnstein is based on a real person. He was Fanny Brice's, actually her second husband in real life, but she always said that he was the love of her life. And it really is sort of an epic love story between these two people who have a lot in common, in terms of their ambition, in terms of their goals for life and really what they want out of it. And he is, when we first meet him, is sort of a gambler and a hustler, and he's a man about town, and he's very well put together. And then as the show goes on, we sort of see some of his flaws, and we sort of see him unravel a little bit.
So as you're examining and playing this role every night, do you ever find yourself, Stephen, in the role of Nicky?
I do. I think he is a romantic. I think that he is very ambitious. I think he cares a great deal what people think of him. And I think that he also has a great sense of humor, which is one of the elements that I really have connected with him in the script, which has been revised by Harvey Fierstein. He has a lot of these sort of wry little jokes and asides in the script. And so I think he has a good heart. And he has a great sense of humor, and those are what I try to connect with in terms of bringing myself to the role.
Well, we love that sense of humor. But Funny Girl has been on Broadway. It's taken on as a film, and it's been toured before. But tell us, how does this specific production bring a fresh, new perspective to the story?
Yeah, I think, anytime you're reviving something, an older show, and you're bringing it to a contemporary audience, I think that you have to really look at it through the lens of what about today, our moment today, living in 2024? What about today is relevant in this story? And I think, at the end of the day, it is a story about a woman who is told no over and over and over again. She's told, you can't do this. You don't look like these other girls who are in the Ziegfeld Follies. You're not going to succeed. And she succeeds anyway. And she sort of blazes her own path based on her own chutzpah and her own force of will. And I think that really connects to people. I mean, I think we all know, that feeling of knowing that you have something really special inside to share and being told no and overcoming those obstacles. So I think it's a really inspiring story for a contemporary audience. And I think that's why it is a classic.
I love that, and that is definitely a message that will certainly resonate with a lot of us. But before I let you go, Stephen, you have to tell me, what is your favorite funny moment of Funny Girl, just so that our audiences know what to look out for on stage?
Love doing, there's a scene, the song You Are Woman, I Am Man, which is set in a posh restaurant that Nick brings Fanny to. And it is sort of the first bit of sort of zany physical comedy that these two characters share in the show. And that's just really fun to play with. It is in some ways sort of a serious show as it gets into the second act. And so to have that sort of little oasis in the first act of just fun, really fun comedy is refreshing, and it's really fun to play.
Well, thank you so much, Stephen. And break a leg. We look forward to welcoming you and the entire cast of Funny Girl to the 517. And for you at home, Funny Girl runs at Wharton Center stage February 6th through the 11th. And you can use the information listed below to make sure you witness all of the magic.